on YouTube yet, though.
Is it not on your YouTube? Did you connect the thingy to the YouTube?
Like, I'm on YouTube and looking on the channel, and I'm not seeing it.
Okay. I'll check, but why don't we go ahead and get started? So,
Okay,
what is up?
We're there.
Oh, it's good now?
Yep. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, very exciting. Tactical response is coming to Florida. Now, we've talked about how fighting pistol and advanced fighting pistol was coming to Florida, but now we also have immediate action medical coming to Florida, and I am very excited for this. I've been wanting to make this happen literally for years, and I'm glad we can finally make it happen.
Yeah. What's really cool is that's not the only immediate action medical class that we put together for this summer. Like, we've got another group of people over in East Tennessee that have a private group that they want me to come out and teach immediate action medical to them and do a little bit of infant CPR for the new mamas in the group. So I'm excited about that too.
I have been wanting you to make a fighting mama bear class for years also.
I should work on that. I really should.
Yeah. I've talked with Raquel about that a bit too. Like, that's something that, like, y'all have a unique perspective on. You and I have talked about stuff like that a ton.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was telling, we had a student come through the way of the shotgun, and he was like, "Hey, how do I talk my wife into coming down here to train and carry a gun?" I was like, you don't. Like, that has to be a decision that they come to on their own. But like, I was telling them that immediate action medical is a great place to start, and to approach it in a way like, hey, it would make me feel a lot better if that when I wasn't with you and their new 10-month-old, that you knew how to do these things. So if you take this class, and then I was like, and then we can convince her from there. And not actually convince, but she'll see the need. Just being around it, like, it exposes something you didn't realize was like an empty place in your life.
Oh yeah. And it's funny too, because, like, I think you were actually in the room when your dad told me that I should take immediate action medical, because I had signed up for fighting pistol and advanced fighting pistol. And he was like, "You need to take the medical class." And I was like, "Well, I've already done, like, combat lifesaver in the Marine Corps. Like, I've already done some of that. I want to blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Listen, you need to take you need to take immediate action medical." And I was like, okay. And then, like many times when I first started training at tactical response, I got very humbled and learned there's, like, better ways to do stuff. Skills were not where I thought they were. And there's more information than when I first learned.
Right. And like, so specifically, this dude's wife was a nurse, and we get that a lot. And I tell, like, now that Isaac told me his story, I tell everybody his story. And him and Rich Vanderhay come down to take a class together as immediate action medical. And, Isaac's wife, Heather, is a nurse practitioner. And she was like, "I'm going to sit this one out because, like, I know the medical stuff." And then she was asking them about the class. And he was like, "We did this and this and this." She was like, "Wait, I need to take that class." Like, it's not just medical. And everything we teach in immediate action medical is a pre-hospital environment. So even if you are a nurse or a doctor or whatever position in the hospital you hold, like, this is all stuff that happens before you ever lay hands on the patient. So.
Yeah. And there's also, like, there's higher standards for certain things. Like, the simple one I always talk about with people is tourniquet application. Like, when I was in the Marine Corps, we practiced tourniquets hard as fuck. And I thought that we were pretty good at it. Turns out they never taught us how to properly reset a tourniquet. So, like, there was actually years I didn't like the cat tourniquet because all of us thought that it took a bunch of rotations. That's because we practiced a lot. We were never taught how to properly reset it. And so, like, I have shown that personally to students I've had come through class, including Army medics, EMTs, paramedics, surgeons, like people that are legitimate medical professionals, but yet the standard that's out there and the way it's taught out there where they learn it is not the same standard.
So when I went through nursing school, I got super excited when we got to the ER portion because I'm like, this is where we deal with emergencies. And we did not even talk about tourniquets, like did not even discuss them. And like one of the proudest moments of my life, and anybody who's ever been through nursing school, EMT school, anybody knows this, like was getting my nursing instructor to admit that maybe tourniquets are more important than airways. Like making her break from the ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation, da 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 da. And I'm like, but if you can only bleed for this long before you die, and you can go this long without oxygen before you die, doesn't it make sense to address the one that's going to kill you first? And she was like, fine, if it makes you feel better, I guess. It is like tourniquets are more important than airways. And I'm like, all I needed to say, like, so, because the thing is, people believe you. Like when you tell them that airways, breathing, then circulation, it's people think that airway comes first. And when you hold a position of authority on something, like if you are a nurse or a doctor, when you hold any kind of position of authority on something, you have to be extra careful with the information you share with people. And I don't think that people take that into consideration. It's the same reason that I won't suggest carrying a fucking 380. Like somebody might listen to me.
If for people out there, if you do carry 380, make sure at least it takes to find munitions. You know, funny thing on that, Grantham did a video a while back, and they did gel testing. Some of the 9mm loads did not perform as well as the Find Munitions 380, which was shocking to see. I still don't want to carry that trash, but but it was
super
impressive.
Glad that Pink finally has a round available for the general public to buy if they do carry a 380. I don't know if I will ever be able to convince myself that it is a caliber to be used for self-defense. Just I don't think I can. I don't think I can convince myself.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, it's one of those where it's like if it's the only gun you can get in.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand that. There are circumstances. But yeah. You know, the other thing, like I love immediate action medical. I tell all my students about it when they train with me because like they come to me for gun classes and I'm like, okay, what medical training do you have? You know, we have that conversation and I'm like, okay, like yes, your pistol skills are important. And guys, also please, if you're signing up for rifle classes, you've never taken a pistol class,
take pistol first.
Yes. And also do it with a concealed carry setup, please. Okay. But yeah, the trifecta, there's a reason why that's been out for so long. And it's so important to people, or it's so important for people. But a lot of people haven't realized how important it is. They want to do the cool gun stuff. But medical and force on force, I would argue, are more important than a pistol.
The only reason that I think that fighting pistol is the most important class we offer is the mindset lecture. If we offered that lecture in any other class, fighting pistol would not be the class that I told you to take first. Like immediate action medical is the class that I recommend to anybody. Because even if you're pregnant, you can take immediate action medical. Even if you are not yet 14 and can't take our fighting pistol class, you can take immediate action medical. If you are old, young, like it doesn't matter what else is going on. Like if you have something else going on, it's even more important you take immediate action medical. Like we will find ways to make things work for you. And it really gets to me when people who carry a gun every single day don't know how to put on a tourniquet. I'm like, you do realize that if you use that thing, odds are bullets are coming back at you. So
Yeah, and tactical response really led the way on getting people carrying medical, getting people medically trained. Like as far as I understand the history, it started there,
us
right?
and Paul Markle with Student of the Gun. So
Okay.
we started immediate action medical. The very first one was taught, I believe, in 2006, because it was put together after my dad got back from Iraq in 2005, and one of his teammates died from a femoral artery bleed, and a tourniquet was never even mentioned. And he was like, holy shit, something needs to be done. Like, if there are ways to save people from these injuries, we should be doing something. And that was how immediate action medical was born, was through the loss of somebody that we really cared about to a gunshot wound.
Yeah, and in that class too, it really shows how like these skills need to be practiced the same way people are practicing gun skills. And I mentioned earlier, the standards that you guys set. Like when I learned, like, again, let's use a simple example of tourniquets. When I learned tourniquets in the Marine Corps, it was, we're throwing tourniquets on each other all the time. How often did we practice it on ourselves? Minimal, absolutely minimal. And they say, self aid, buddy
Medic
aid, and then corpsman aid or medic. Yeah. But we were throwing them on each other. We were not putting them on ourselves nearly as much. And when I took immediate action medical, it was basically the standard that I hold after that class. And that I learned from you guys was I should be able to do this, like get it on under 30 seconds while moving without looking at it.
Yeah.
And now that's the standard I hold in. And you see a lot of videos online of people talking about tourniquets. The placement's fucked up. It's not on tight enough. And they're staring at it the whole time because they legitimately suck at it.
There is a drill that we do in immediate action medical. It's not a secret drill, so I don't mind talking about it on here. But we do a blindfold drill. And it's hilarious because every single class, I tell them, hey guys, we're about to do this drill. When we do this drill, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to blindfold you. I'm going to say fight. And then I want you to find a patient and put a tourniquet on them. You're going to be trying to look at what you're doing. And I'm going to come up and whisper in your ear, what are you looking at? And you're going to say, huh? Nothing. I can't see. I'm blindfolded. And I'm going to say, then why not take this opportunity to practice having our head up? Because if you've been through fighting pistol or immediate action medical, you know that when you compress your spine, it starts to release norepinephrine and backtracks on the adrenaline dump you just had. So it's funny because even when I tell people that is exactly what happens. They're like, you told me I'm not going to make that mistake. And I'm like, okay.
I did, especially when we were doing like dummy gun stuff, even in advanced immediate action medical, I still we all naturally do. But I will say my favorite tactical response class is advanced immediate action medical because it's immediate action medical
and force on force
plus. Yeah. So it's you have more of a reason to keep your head up. And as we saw, when the results of you not doing the right thing is pain, people tend to do the right thing more.
And the advanced immediate action medical class, it's so funny because I have begged for that class since we started immediate action medical. Begged and begged and begged, please, can we do this? And finally got the green light before you did to incorporate both force on force and medical stuff. I'm like, that logically, that is the next step to immediate action medical. There's not a whole lot more that we can teach you in that amount of time that's going to be worth knowing and saving the same number of lives like tourniquets and protecting airways and doing needle decompressions do. But if we can have you do what we've already taught you under fire, then like that is the logical progression of this class. And my dad was right in that it is the absolute hardest class to sell.
Yeah.
He was like, nobody's going to sign up for it. I'm like, everybody will be signing up for it. Like, why wouldn't they? This is so awesome. They get the gut stuff and the medical stuff. And he's just like, because they get shot at. What? Don't like pain, Kayla. You're weird. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but I will give a shout out to everyone who has taken the fight, has taken medical.
Those are the ones and nines.
Fight contingent.
Like,
yep,
that is how, because no matter where you go in society, no matter how small the group gets or whatever, like, it's still the same style breakdown. So even among tactical response alumni, we have the out of every 100 men. Like, we've got it. And that is, if y'all want the inside secret on like what we talk about, like that is how we know to take a student, like to know that the student is taking what they're doing like seriously, is when they get into the medical and the force on force training. We're like, okay, they really want to make sure they've got this stuff down.
Right. Yeah. It is one of those things where it's like you see so many students come through, like, and I do too. For instance, Lynn, who came up and trained with you guys. She started with me in Florida, then she went and did trifecta, and I was like, oh my God, she takes the classes I want her to take. She buys the stuff I tell her to buy. I was like, and from what I heard, she did really well in the fight and in medical too. It's like those people, they're rare. There are some people that go for experience, some people that go just to do the one thing they want to do, and then they're going to kind of peter off. But there are the people that actually take it seriously, that they take their life seriously. They take violence seriously. They take the idea of preparedness seriously. And
me and Tasha, Dakota's girlfriend, we did a podcast about like the different kinds of things with self-defense. Like, she talked dogs, I talked guns and stuff. And she was asking when we were doing that, like, one of her questions was like, how do you toe the line between prepared and paranoid? And I was like, training. Like, I don't allow myself to be paranoid. And you don't feel paranoia when you are prepared for the thing that people feel paranoid about. So,
yeah, I also like what Andy Sanford said. I think it was at Surgical Species Summit up there. He said, he's like, yeah, some people call me paranoid, but you know what happens to paranoid people? Nothing.
Right.
Right on. So I've actually officially updated my website, and now I've got your guys' classes on there too on my calendar. But you guys can click in the description. I put links, I put dates. Fighting Pistols coming to Titusville in September, and then there will also be Advanced Fighting Pistol, and I believe that goes 20th through the 23rd, and then October 4th and 5th in Bellevue, here in this room that I'm sitting in, we will be doing immediate action medical.
So if y'all are in Florida and want to know how to put a tourniquet on.
Yeah, even guys, if you've already done a medical class, as far as like when I've gone and taken medical classes, there are different flavors. I think immediate action medical is one that you need to do because of the way they approach it and the martial skills aspect. Like, it's not so much PowerPoint explanation. The practical application on it is one of the things that everyone needs to do, including people who have gone to EMT school or something like that. There's a different approach to it because it's not you're a medic, it's not you're a soldier, it's not that you're a cop, it's not something like that. It is you
experienced an emergency.
Yeah, you're there. Like
Usually surrounding it, like the premise of the class, the way that we deliver it is surviving a violent encounter, like being able to treat a gunshot, stabbed, or trauma victim until help arrives. The beauty of medicine is that it doesn't matter how your femoral artery got cut. Like if it was with a bullet or a car accident, the treatment is still the same. So even though the skills are all under that martial lifestyle and directly correlated to carrying a gun and things like that, they are not only going to be applicable in those situations. You are way more likely to be able to help somebody with a tourniquet than you ever are to be able to help somebody with a gun.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that I like about it is you guys don't hold back. Like there's another thing within like the like I think I have seen dumber stuff from the like tactical medical side of the industry than I have from the gun side of the industry. Like the decomp needles are one of the big ones where it's like, oh, that's just for these people. And, like you might damage someone. And it's like, yeah, I kind of might do a lot of damage with this gun I have on me too. If I do the wrong thing, it might be really bad actually. So, and then what happens if they don't get that decomp needle?
They die.
Oh, they die. Oh, okay.
Like they definitely die.
Yeah.
That's
so,
what happens.
It's like every time I see someone being like, oh, no, I don't teach them that, or I got to make sure that blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, no, they need to know this. Because here's my thing. For myself and my family, I need to be competent, capable, and have the stuff at doing the decomp needle. Because if they don't get it, they're going to die. And then you will fail them. And it's like one of the most funny things that I see when people are scared of giving civilians decomp needles. By the way, they all have a car.
And like those same people carry guns. Like the fact that you said the tactical medical world, and it was like we got that brought up all the time by people who would come and take immediate action medical, and like people in the gun industry reaching out to us like, hey guys, I don't know if you should be teaching that. That comes with a lot of liability. And my dad's answer was like, yeah, I already teach motherfuckers how to kill other motherfuckers. Everything else we teach is less legally liable than that.
Exactly.
So if you are going to carry a gun but not carry a needle because it's scary and might hurt somebody, like you should take a look at, like, take a step back and really look at what you're saying and why you're saying it. Is it just because people have convinced you that it's this deadly thing, which it's not? Or is like, are you lacking training in knowing how to use it? Is that why you're scared of carrying it? And like, honestly, even if you don't ever take training, even if you don't know how to use it, like doctors, nurses, paramedics are the absolute worst for carrying medical equipment anywhere. Like somebody else might know how.
Yeah, I'm not carrying my ankle med kit on me right now because I'm in my house, right? Mm-hmm. But I still have more medical on me than those people.
Right.
Including my gun, by the way, which I love how you guys say the guns are trauma inducers, right?
Yes.
It is a
like
medical
two
device.
Trauma kits, one to induce and one to fix.
Yeah, man, I had such a good time last time when I was able to stick around and role play for me Action Medical because like the conversations like this and the other conversations that went in that class. I'm really looking forward to it. especially like, cause it is hard for some people to travel. Right.
Mhm.
And that's been one of the big things for my students. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's 12 hours away. Just go. Right. But it's hard for me to travel that far. And then, no, I'm joking. I get it.
Like,
But
perception and relativity do count for something in that. Like,
yeah, I do get it. It's like, trying to dedicate as much time as like you or I have to taking classes is not an easy thing. So I really,
no.
really appreciate you guys coming to Florida. I really want to make this happen more. I've already got several of my core students, my 1s and 9s, who are like, "Yep, I'm trying to schedule with work right now." They're like,
Mhm.
"I'll know Thursday." So,
Well, and
um,
the beauty of immediate action medical is that we do not have to have a range. Like,
mhm.
even if you want to train with tactical response outside of the fighting pistol mindset lecture, you are not going to get better training than the immediate action medical class. So if you are somewhere way off and traveling to Tennessee isn't something that you can do, get some of your buddies together. We need 10 students to make a class happen, a mobile class happen. And like, if you get the 10 people, you can make it a private class. Like, I will come to you.
Mhm.
So if
Now,
you guys are wanting medical and you can't make it to Tennessee, talk some other people in your area into wanting medical too, and I will come to you.
yeah, and it's important, guys. Like I know, because I go take many classes, and I don't only train inside of our circle. I go outside of our circle. I train with people that I know I disagree with, even, so I can learn everything they got.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that this industry of everyone who goes to these classes is missing the most is medical training. The thing I see where I feel like people have a false sense of security is a lot of people have what I call a starter medical kit. And that is that little blue force gear thing that they put on their war belt. But that's about as far as it goes with most people. They buy that, then they don't take any medical classes. And that's actually like taking me action medical with you guys, and then like the advanced classes and stuff. That's why I put tourniquets in to like carry pistol one, which I need to change the name of, and rifleman one, because I wanted people to at least dip their toes in the water, at least
Mm-hmm.
learn the standard and see like, oh shit, like there's actually a bunch of stuff over here I need to learn. And
Yep.
still some people reject it. Some people just want to do the gun stuff, but again, 1s and 9s, they're the ones who are competent at medical.
Yep.
So again, we got the links in the description. You can sign up right now. I have put the dates on my calendar on the website, and then of course they're also on the Tactical Response website. Also, I'm about to hit the road here. I'm going to be going to Ohio, and then I'm going to be going to Taprack Ridge in Kentucky, and then I'll be at Tactical Response. And the way it's looking, I'm actually going to, right now my plan, but if something crazy comes up, then I have to change my plan. But right now the plan is I'm going to role play for Fight Continues and Advanced Immediate Action Medical, which I really want to, because like those are awesome classes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, so for me, I'll be doing Proving Grounds pistol cheat codes, and then Proving Grounds pistol, the Force on Force skills-based class in New London, Ohio. Then I just changed the class I'm going to be doing there. Rifle cheat codes in Kentucky, and then violent dynamic variables. So rifle cheat codes, kind of, if you've done pistol cheat codes with me, you know what that's like. And it's doing that with a rifle, but not entirely the same. Violent dynamic variables is moving targets, shooting on the move, using cover, and visual stimulus all day. Pistol, rifle, or shotgun, I don't care. I encourage you to bring all of them. Just like it shouldn't be your first time using it, But I just did that. It was a really fun class. I have footage I need to edit for that. And then I'll be running pistol cheat codes the day before alumni weekend at Tactical Response. Oh, and alumni weekend, I'll be I got a thing planned on ways I've been using for airsoft for dry practice stuff, and I want you guys to just come out, mess with those. I'll show you the things that I've been doing, and then the next day I'll be doing a thing on shooting on the move on Sunday. But now we can get to the comments. So again, tax response is coming to Florida in September and in October. September is when advanced fighting pistol is happening. October is when the action medical is happening. Now I can overlay. So
Pew pews in September, tourniquets in October.
All right. So now I'm going to go up to the top. Now, I will give a good hello to everyone, but remember with me, if you want me to shout you out and say hello, you have to say, "Who is this?" Not hello. That's a joke from, we were training the Japanese on prisoner of war handling.
Yeah.
And when I demoed, I found a knife. I went like, "What is this?" And then the Japanese guy took out the knife he found on a guy, went, "Who is this?"
It gets you there.
All right, Josh DeWalt, who is this?
Oh, somebody, like, I'm scrolling through the comments, and one of the comments when we were talking about like the fighting mama bear class said like a one-handed class with a 10-pound sandbag. Guys, if you ever get into a gunfight with a baby in your arms, drop your baby. Drop your baby. The rule of thumb is that babies can survive twice their height with like minimal damage to them. And when I say minimal, like no brain damage or anything like that. And I understand that dropping a baby does carry risk. So does not dropping your baby while you are being shot at. So
yeah.
Drop your baby. The only time it makes you a good parent.
Max thinks you're timid.
I'm timid. No, just a little bit autistic and tired at the end of the day.
Yep, lots of hellos. Hello, everyone. All right. Still a mindset class, just works on medical stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Mindset is the focus of every single class we offer at Tactical Response, unless we specify it is a skills-based class like Fast and Accurate.
Mark Curtis, I gave a rash tourniquet to an accident-prone coworker last week. That's another one that like this whole industry does not understand, is that tourniquet. Like I have one on me right now. I don't prefer it for my leg, but my kids, my dog, my arms, yes. And it's funny, they always talk about nerve damage. I would tell you what, if nerve damage is a legitimate concern, then like tell me why my arms still work. Because I promise the people saying that have not used that tourniquet as much as I have, and my arms would be broken.
This is what I tell people who are scared of tourniquets. There is a little blue pill that is very popular for men as they get older. Okay? Very, very popular pill. And there is a message on commercials with those pills that say, if the thing this pill wants to happen or makes happen lasts longer than 4 hours, then go to your doctor. What's actually happening inside of the body is that the blood flow is being tourniqueted off. And the same blood is staying inside of the thing. And if men who, and like, let's be clear, when dudes are blown up in Iraq and Afghanistan, they don't ask about their legs first. So if men are saying you've got up to 4 hours before you should be colonized, that translates to tourniquets as well. That's what's happening. is the blood flow is being staunched. And so if they're saying 4 hours for their most like cherished body part, I think you're good on tourniquets. Just trying to keep that clean just in case you have any kids listening. But like, I think you're good.
Scott, don't forget about dry practice with medical too. I have been slacking on TQ application. Yes, it is very important. And guys, like, when attack response teaches the 5 Bs, right? And I think getting really fast at bleeding stuff for medical, hugely important. So your technique and ability to apply tourniquets and pack wounds, like those 2 things are very simple things that you can practice, and they should be practiced regularly. Also, even if you don't like this or that type of tourniquet, you should at least have a fundamental understanding of how to use it and have practice with it so that it's not new to you in case you have to use someone else's stuff.
Yeah. Everybody out there should know how to apply a cat style tourniquet, a rat's style tourniquet, a soft T style tourniquet. Snake staff application tourniquets are becoming very, very popular. Ratchet style tourniquets, like you have to, like windlass, elastic, and ratchet are the 3 biggest style tourniquets that I see that are successfully placed. You should have training in all 3 styles.
Yes. Evan, I'm trying to think of who are you talking about? That dude who died, saved. Oh, we're talking about James' friend. Yeah. And that's something that it's a shame that not more people understand the history of that. I think that would be a good podcast subject to do sometime, Kayla. Because I've even heard from like Nomar, him talking about when he was in class and James was talking about the importance of medical. He was talking about it during a contractor class a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That like, I wish that it was more well known, and I like nobody to blame but us. How the medical training even got started here at Tactical Response. Like, we have Jay Hunt to thank for his sacrifice for opening our eyes to the need for medical in civilian everyday life.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with
Grant said, speaking of the podcast, he tried to listen to a couple of them and it says they're not available. We will look into that and see what's going on.
Oh yeah, that new one that you just recorded, is that up right now?
No, it is not up yet. We're trying to get some banked. I was talking to Joey and Dakota and was like, because Dakota is helping us out with this stuff. He's volunteering his time for recording and editing all of our stuff right now. And I told him I wanted to get some banked so that we could have a more consistent schedule out, because I don't like the hit or miss stuff. I feel very disappointed on my podcast when, like, I listen to Crime Junkie. It's one of my favorites. And if there's not like a new episode every Monday, I'm like, what's up? What's going on?
Matt, yes, that is Kayla, James' daughter. And Kayla, when did you take your first class?
I took my first professional class with Andy Stanford in 1997 or 1998. And I was born in 1989. So I was like 8 or 9 when I took that class.
When did you first have to unload a gun at a range?
When I was 3.
Wait, when you were 3? Have to unload show clear is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I thought you meant like.
I thought you meant the good way.
The first time that I ever had to unload and show clear at a range, I was 20 years old. Adult.
Like, range flag? What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah. So that was the Tiger Valley team match. We went down to Texas. I was with my dad and some of his buddies. And I go with one of the buddies to zero in his rifle. And I'm standing there like, okay, everybody, like range flag. So I'm like looking around and I asked him, I was like, hey, Dale, where is the range flag? And he was like, huh? I was like, they just called for range flags. Like, where's the flag we're supposed to go stand under? And he was like, oh my fucking God. Like, you have been so sheltered, but unsheltered, like reverse sheltered, sheltered from all the bad stuff.
I'm sheltering you from range safety nonsense.
Right. I legitimately grew up thinking that people were being super like exaggerative with how silly ranges were.
Mm.
It was like, there's no way. They're joking. Like, like telling fishing stories and the fish was this big, like, and the range rolls were this bad. I'm like, ain't no way. But way. Absolutely way.
Oh yeah. Good evening from Colorado, where only criminals get guns the same day. You know that there's a lot of people who say they're turning law-abiding citizens into criminals. I'm starting to think they're turning criminals into good guys at a certain point with the way our laws are going. Hey, baby.
Yeah.
Will you come tell people about ME Action Medical? I'll unplug this so you can hear. I got Ashley, my wife here. She actually attended Fighting Pistol, ME Action Medical, the fight. Do you do any other tax response classes? You can be in camera. You don't have to be weird about it.
I know.
I'm shy to social media. I only got 500,000 followers.
I do this for a living, but I'm still like, I did the full trifecta. I think that was it.
Will you tell them about Immediate Action Medical, since that's the class that's coming here?
Oh, I loved Immediate Action Medical.
This is exactly how it went when we did a YouTube review. Okay, it took us like months to get the YouTube review done. And I'm sorry, I unplugged my headphones and now I can't hear a damn thing. But it took us months to get the YouTube review done. And when we were actually filming it, this is how it went.
I know. No, but I loved it. I feel a lot more confident, especially with being with the kids all day, that if something happened or there was some type of accident or anything like that, that I could handle it. So that's one huge plus and I was a nanny at the time too. So it was awesome to be able to tell families like, hey, I've taken this class. I have a little bit of medical training. So it was also a good boost to my resume. And yeah, I learned a ton. I also learned that I am not great under stress and I need to work on that.
I don't know.
Nobody's great under stress. Nobody starts out great under stress.
Blame me.
I know, all these years of weightlifting, and I'm like, no way.
No, it was good. There was a couple moments in there, even like for myself, where it was like, I never would want to do this, but like this is actually a good lesson for me right now, and afterwards I was like, fuck, it really it's a great way, like they say, to face fear, pain, and death, right? Yep. In a controlled learning environment.
Yeah. And then also I had never worked with other types of tourniquets. Like you had shown me the cat and the rats, but I had no idea any of the others even existed. So if I had seen that, I'd be like, what is that? Mm-hmm. So.
and like, I know like a lot of guys watching this are like, man, I just wish I could get my wife to blah, blah, blah. Like, don't be hard on her about it. First off, like she's only gonna do it when she's ready, but also like, check it out. Like she carries, she's trained, she has medical, she's done force on force. Like everything that I could possibly want from my wife when I'm not there, I have. And so like, that is a good reason to take your kid.
So those questions should be like, or those conversations should be had before you marry someone.
Let me put on my headphones. Hang on.
Okay.
I tried unplugging it, but I can't hear.
Okay, you go play play, okay?
Let me know when you got your headphones on. He's like, I didn't hear that either. Hi, Scarlett.
All right.
No, those are conversations that you have with your potential, like, mother of your children and wife before you have children or get married.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, like, you are no better than the women who, like, date a dude that's like, I can change him, I can fix him. Like, have those conversations before you pop the question, before you put a baby in her,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure you pick one that is cool with this stuff.
I will say too, like, make your list of what you want before you start looking for a woman too, or a man. Like, that's a consistent thing I have seen people say. I did that. Ashley is exactly my list.
Yeah, and what Andrew's not telling you is he even included, like, blonde and beautiful on there.
Yeah, because I told Kayla about this. I'm like, I swear to God, I manifested her.
Yeah.
Now I've slightly altered my beliefs. I believe God literally sent her to me. It was like, even though I wasn't being good to God, he was like, all right, this will make you better, and then you'll follow me more.
William S. just said tactical response needs a dating app. It would be a fucking sausage fest. Just be dudes on that app.
All your girls will get stolen by Tim too, so you know.
Hey, Ryder, come here.
And you can just come to alumni weekend too. It's pretty simple like that.
Mm-hmm.
And more classes. Class. Yeah. Awesome. And an active
Thank
shooter.
you, Justin. Yeah, he said, William, it's called classes. There's, like, single girls don't stay single around here for long. They get snatched up quick.
Okay.
I'm looking through and seeing, yeah, TK4s, that's another, like, the elastic style tourniquets. They are near impossible to buy now, though. Like, if you see them in the wild, grab them, because they are not being produced at the same rate they used to be.
Yeah, and
It's not for civilians.
And I bought all of the ones Tactical Response had left.
Yep. I keep finding them, like, we're cleaning up the basement, and I keep finding them in, like, bags. When I open them, I'm like, hey, this can go in this pocket. Hey, oh, here's another one. So I've got, like, TK4s everywhere.
What about that?
I just put together a new medical bag, like a vehicle med kit, and the video will be coming out probably the week after next. But I threw TK4s in that one that I found. I was just like, I've only got the cat tourniquets in here right now. And I did want to include that because my normal vehicle med bag is my peds bag and it only has rats in there. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you might want to have some for, like, big old adult thigh legs. And so I put those in there, but I was like, I don't want just cat tourniquets in here. And happened to find 2 TK4s. And I was like, doop, doop, there you go.
Nice. Have you messed with that other TK4? It's got like a clamp thingy on it. I forget the name of it.
The TK4L that looks like the Jesus fish on the end.
It's been a while since I looked at it. Do you like it?
Yes, I did like those. I liked the TK4Ls better than the original TK4 because the failure point with the original TK4s was trying to get it hooked after you had it on tight enough. Because it was literally like trying to, if you got it on tight enough, you were digging the metal hook into people's skin to get it like hooked where it would stay. The TK4Ls had like a better system for that. And I figured out a different way to put TK4s on that completely negate the hooks at all.
Oh, right on.
So, yeah.
Is that new or is that something I've seen?
it's new. It was not, I did not teach it when you took immediate action medical. It has been
cool.
since then. Jerry was showing me a way that some of the women from his class used the, I think it's not the Sam Splint tourniquet, the big old elastic, the SWAT tourniquet, I think is what it is. And when he showed me that, I was like, wait a second, the TK4s can do that too. And it just, they are so much easier. We'll do a video about it.
Right on. I want to show I run something real quick, medical related. So I made this bag for myself a while back. I haven't really loaded this as much as I need to, but a cool thing, if you got anything that's Velcro lined, that adhesive Velcro that you can buy, like guys who own shotguns often put the adhesive loop on the side of their shotgun for shotgun cards. Well, if you put an adhesive hook on your medical stuff, you can just stick that right on the Velcro in your bag. And then you can even layer stuff on top, hook loop, hook loop, hook loop. And
you were showing me that the last time you were up, and I thought that was really fucking cool.
Yeah, I was like, how has no one else figured this out? So that's an original one I got. But yeah, it's that's how I like to set up all my medical stuff now. Less pouches. It's just you look, the stuff is there. And Sam said, hey, but Andrew, some guy on the internet said medical doesn't belong in the same class as pistols. And yeah, it's funny too, because we had done, tactical response was on it too. I'm pretty sure we had done like a short together talking about like why you should have a tourniquet on your rifle, and people freaked out at that. And I'm like, dude,
what? Like, I don't understand how, if you take like the martial lifestyle seriously, and it's not just a shooting class, how they wouldn't go together.
Right.
Like,
you know, the majority of the time when I thought I needed a rifle in my hands because I was, at home, I wasn't wearing medical. It's good to have a bag, that you got, stuff in, like a bump bag or something, that you got your, and that's another one I got from you guys. Jerry talked about it. The bump bag was an invention from a conversation in Advanced Fighting Pistol where he was like, it'd be cool if you had something you could just throw around your neck, had like a mag, a flashlight, medical, and a cell phone. I was like, great idea. Let's make it way more expensive, and then I'll make it. And, but yeah, any sort of bag, you throw that stuff in. But like, it's great to have that. However, like if it's really a right now emergency, you probably don't have time to grab that stuff. So if you at least, if you have a long gun and there is a good space on there to put a tourniquet at least on it, that's a smart thing to do. Now you could simply shock cord it to it. You could use masking tape. You could get the stock sock from Blue Alpha Gear, Addison, Prepared Citizens TG. He makes a thing that you can attach to M-Lock and put a tourniquet on your gun. But literally just masking tape, shock cord. I think all of our people should own a decent amount of mil-spec shock cord to just attach stuff to other stuff.
Yeah. And like I don't think anybody ever in the history of gunfights have ever been like, damn, I could have used less tourniquets on that one. There's like ammo. Nobody's like, whoo, I wish I would have left that extra mag at home.
Yeah, especially like when you really practice this shit and you start going like, wait a second, my family has 4 people and they all have 4 limbs, and then each of those might potentially need 2 tourniquets. You may as well just walk around with 30 tourniquets on you, I get it.
You're gonna make a dress, like a skirt out of rats tourniquets, like rats and TK4s.
Well, it's back to that thing I said earlier too, where a lot of people just buy what I call a starter medical kit. Because like most medical kits you buy, they have one thing for each thing, right?
Yeah.
You have one thing for tourniquet, you have a little bit of gauze, you have a seal, probably no needle in there. It's like, but that's doesn't mean that you're just gonna get those specific injuries. Like,
yeah, yep. I think that everybody should carry one.
mm-hmm.
And one is, or two is one and one is none. So if you carry one, you should carry two. They make a lot of them that are small enough to fit in your pocket that are decent tourniquets. Like, they work.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody brought up the Schleichman
wrap. Yeah.
Schleichman. Was that the one that you gave? Were you the one that gave me that?
I showed you one. Chuck Peoples may have given it to you. He's the one who showed me it. I've messed with it a little bit, but not enough to have a real judgment on it. I'm just like, if it's between that and rats, I'm taking the rats. I
messed with it a lot around the house. Like, I haven't put it through a class or anything because I specifically wanted to test it out on my kids. Mm-hmm. And all three of my kids, Gatlin, Emmeline, and Gage, had that tourniquet applied correctly to where it completely cut off blood flow to their arms. And none of them complained it hurt eventually, but none of them responded the same way that they have whenever we've done other tourniquets.
Now, do you find the application is easier or harder with that than a rat's?
The application is harder with that.
Okay.
Because you have to make sure that you're staying on top of where you were, because that's the catch, is like the Velcro is catching and the entire one side is like it's meant to stick and the entire other side is meant to like do the opposite of stick, like they both have their job and it does it on both sides all the way around. So you have to stay like on a closer path, and it just feels like it's more difficult because it is a wider band, more difficult to hold on to and keep it stretched wide and tight enough. So
read 4 reviews. Next week, Joey and I will be discussing mindset from Varg Freeborn's book, Violence of Mind, which covers mindset very well. Yeah, I love that book. Violence of Mind and Beyond OODA Loop. If you're a guy who's trained with Sunny already, I think you would probably like Beyond OODA Loop. For me, that was my favorite. That was the one I was most interested in, but both are really good, and you guys can listen to them on Audible. I'm one person removed from Varg Freeborn, so I actually am trying to get him on a podcast eventually. Oh, look at that. William, TJ at Refuge Medical has an excellent interview with the creator of the rats, explains a lot. Mostly boils down to a lack of training and compartment syndrome. Yeah. Well, you guys have had him on plenty of times too.
Yep. Jeff, like I grew up knowing him.
It was funny because like back when everyone was freaking out about the rats a ton, I remember people would specifically say like, this guy's an SF guy and he says it's bad. And it's like, the guy who designed it is also an SF guy. Like he's also an 18 Delta, right?
Like I've been defending rats tourniquets on the internet since like 2008. Since the internet become a thing, like in every household.
Since before most people knew what a tourniquet was.
Right. So, definitely since before most people carried one. I was just like, guys, like, I don't understand your problem with it.
It's really funny too, because it's like the biggest thing with the whole like people freaking out about tourniquets is it's like, guys, it's a strap. It's a strap. That's all it really is. It's nothing that complicated. Like I design gear. I fucking sew gear, right? I can look at a thing and see if it's a piece of shit or not just by handling it for a few seconds. When it's a simple strap, it's not that complicated. And
Mm-hmm.
even like I'm not recommending you go buy shitty Chinese ones or anything like that, but even a lot of those actually aren't that bad as far as the ones I've handled. I made a video a while back on one I found like just at a thrift store when I popped in to donate some stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy that and make a video on it. But even that one, I should probably test it and see if you can actually break it. One of the big things people talked about with like recon tourniquets was delamination. It has delamination. The Velcro comes undone. Well, what they didn't ever mention is that the delamination, where the Velcro comes undone, is actually just on the plastic wings that hold the windlass in. So if that Velcro comes off, it doesn't mean the tourniquet doesn't work. It just means that you have to pull it back and put the thing back over it. And really, you like what I did is anytime I saw that happening, and I just anticipate like this one I've had in the car for a couple months, it's going to happen soon. I just put a couple drops of super glue on it. It doesn't mean it's not going to work. As long as the plastic wings are there and it can lock in, it's going to be okay. And even that, you could take the white time tab off and all the stuff off those plastic wings. And if you have the space, like on an arm application, to just wrap the tail end back around the stick and back through, it's not actually that scary of a problem.
See, that is why, like, the rapid application tourniquet system, the rats, will always be my favorite, is because I have a tourniquet at my house that we've counted the classes that it's went through. It has had over 1,000 applications and it still works effectively. Yes, the like metal ends are blown the fuck out.
Yep.
Yes, there are multiple places along that tourniquet where the rubber inside of the like braided coating like shell has ripped, but the shell still holds it together, and I can still get a solid application with a tourniquet that's had over 1,000 repetitions through it. Correct repetitions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will always love the rats.
And when the Rhino aluminum tourniquet came out, like I bought those when they were only available on Alibaba. Like they didn't even have a website yet. And those have been the ones that we have been using as trainers. Mine are totally tore up. They're still working though. Like we haven't actually officially broken them yet. Now,
and that's awesome.
Yeah. And the other thing is, again, I was bringing back to this. Yeah, I get if you want to buy only cats, that's fine. That's totally fine. In fact,
unless you have children or pets in your life that you love. Sorry,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you should own a rats, or if you're like, no, I'm gonna get the TK for okay, whatever. But like in fact, I actually prefer a windlass style, a cat style, more for applying to someone else because I don't have to work around that limb as much, you know. Yeah, that's fine. I just have an easier time with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, it's a fucking strap. That's all it is. It's not that complicated. And you don't need a goddamn college degree to figure out how to make a strap tight on the highest point of a limb.
Nope. Or not rocket scientist or rocket science. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a scientist. All right, it is 8:04 and I have not had dinner yet. So.
Okay. Anything else you want to leave them with?
Guys, again, we are coming to Florida in October. If you want me to bring Immediate Action Medical to you, get me 10 people in your area to sign up for a class, and like a banquet room, your church, like any open area, we can make Immediate Action Medical work there. So let's get more people trained in the good stuff, the gospel.
Right on. Yep. And Grant Tilly, yeah. As far as all the ones I have bought so far, I haven't bought more. I bought them a long time ago when they first came out, right after Recon ended. But the Rhino Medical tourniquets I've had have been great. Kayla, I know you've used them too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So That is it. Yeah.
This is the way.
Yep. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way. This is the way.
All right. Good night, guys.